All right, let's get it. You know, it's your boy Ryan. We're back here with Dark Elevation, and this week we're connecting the YouTube dots. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through Dark Elevation, and Dark real quick, and just throw in some connective dots between BTE and Sammy Guevara and how this all plays in. So, Elevation was full of multi-person tag matches. You had a six-woman tag match. Start off with Ty Condi, Red Velvet, and Anna Jay teaming up to take on Angelica Risk, Ari Alexander, and Freya States. I think it was the other three, and they won with the Queen Slayer. That was a back and forth fight. We're also going to go over who had offense and who didn't. Then the next was a 10-man tag with 2.0 Garcia and the Gun Club beating Dean Alexander, Dominic Guarini, Chico Adams, Errol Levy, and Kevin Koo. I think was the 5 on that side. There was no offense by the other guys, and they won with the sharpshooter by Garcia. Then the Bunny beat Caitlin Alexis. Again, no offense from her. It was all Bunny with down the rabbit hole. Then there was another 10-man tag as well. And this is where we're going to connect the dots. We're connecting the dots to start off with, and it's going to be from BTE. So if you remember last week on Rampage, or the week before, whatever it was, I think it was last week, maybe, when Matt Hardy left Private Party in the middle of their tag match, or maybe it was when Isaiah was fighting, got thrown around by Limitless Keith Lee 2 weeks ago, whichever it was. But whenever Matt Hardy had up and just walked off on BTE, and BTE starts before Elevation does. So obviously they premiere BTE at, I guess, noon or whatever it is, Eastern Standard Time on Mondays, and Elevation's Monday nights. And they did the whole, they were joking, but did the whole, hey, you need to piss in a cup like your brother and then not give you the results. He goes, you're not going to send me the results, you're going to send me the results. So you follow what WWE did. They said he was acting erratic, and they basically fired Jeff Hardy for acting erratic or whatever. They said he was back doing things, but they would never send him his test results. When they tested him after they fired him. Well, they're playing off of that, saying you're acting erratic. You just up and walked off in the middle of a match like your brother. You're going to need to pee in a cup. He goes, I'm not peeing in a cup. Threw it at them. They walk into the bathroom. They get his pee, supposedly. But that was the whole play that they did against Matt Hardy and all that, playing off of the Jeff Hardy incident, what happened last week or 2 weeks ago when he walked off on Private Party. So then we get into this 10-man tag match with the AHFO, which actually was just the Andrade family office today. It was Andrade, Private Party, and then the Butcher and the Blade. And unlike Matt Hardy, if you've watched throughout all of their teaming with Matt Hardy and the Private Party, Matt Hardy would tag himself in to get the win at the end of the day. Well, Andrade flipped it. He did the double underhook DDT to whoever it was. And then he turns around, tags Isaiah in, and then Isaiah gets the win. The other team, again, had no offense whatsoever, minus the captain, Sean Dean, if I remember correctly. They gave him like 2 seconds of offense, if that. But he was the only one. I think Carly Brown was the one who took the fall here. Baron Black was the other guy, and then Jameson Ryan and Chandler Hopkins were the other two. Excuse me. So then at the very end, like, he couldn't believe. I think he couldn't believe that he was tagged in. He high-fived, hugged, whatever, Andrade and everybody. Andrade was just giving everyone the heads up, like, hey, good job, good job. And Matt comes out and just stands at the top of the ramp, like, shaking his head. Connecting the dots from when he left them 2 weeks ago or last week to then BTE to then here on YouTube, we're going to lead into what I'm assuming, what I'm guessing is Jeff returning with his brother. Jeff coming to AEW to reunite the Hardy Boys, although they are reuniting, I think, on the 12th. They have a couple tag matches coming up outside of AEW on the independent scene, but I think this is what's going to reunite them on television with AEW, and this is how he's going to take the split from the AHFO. Andrade is being more of a team player here. He's feeding into that more, so I don't know how that's going to play in, but he's definitely dropped that role of what he was before. And now being more of a team player, fighting with his guys. He's doing things on his own, but he's helping out. He's making them feel more part of the team. Like, hey, listen, I'm doing the work with you instead of taking the spotlight like Matt Hardy was. So that's where the difference in plays coming in here. So that was the one part of connecting BTE to Elevation, which is connecting all of AEW. So you got to follow along to see what happens on Dynamite, Rampage, and how everything comes together. Then you had Ruby Soho beat Haley J. There was some back and forth there. Ruby won with the no future, which is never an offense from the opponent of Lance Archer. He throws him to the ring. He beats him with the blackout, but he didn't really beat him with the blackout. He did the blackout and then just pummeled him until the referee called the match because Lance Archer was just destroying him. Then we'll be getting this We Are series every week. We on Elevation Dark, they pick one superstar to talk about the song that they had gotten written about them, about their story. And this is Kira Hogan talking about her story. I'm not trying to butcher it. I don't want to take away from her story. So I used to just, as always, go back and watch Elevation and Dark and just catch up on this stuff. But it was Kira Hogan talking about her story and her struggles of coming up and not thinking she was going to be accepted for being who she is and who she was and who she was, who's talking the past tense, and who she is today, and how they wrote her story and all that stuff. And again, great story as all of these have been. So you just got to go back, really go back, listen to it. I can't do her story justice, only she can, and just talks and hints about different things and how the song came about and how excited she's about the song. Then she's in the match with it's her, Sky Blue, and AQA teaming up against Nyla Rose, Layla Hirsch, and Emi Sakura. This is some good back and forth, but the running knee by Layla Hirsch is what won the match on, I want to say, Sky Blue. I don't think it was AQA because I think she got belly to back suplexed out of the ring. So I want to say it was Sky Blue that took the loss here. Definitely wasn't Kira because I remember her coming in at the end. But either way, back and forth. Then another 5-man, 10-man tag. Again, a whole bunch of stuff. Dark was full of 2 singles matches. Elevation was full of 2 singles matches. And the rest were all trio or 5-man tags and 6-woman tags. It was Jay Lethal, Matt Sydal, Frankie Kazarian, Lee Johnson, and Brock Lesnar taking on Chaos Project and the Wingman minus Ryan Nemeth. Jay Lethal wins with just the elbow drop, but such high. I mean, it's amazing how high he gets to drop that elbow, and they win. That was the end of Elevation. So now we're going to connect Dark to the YouTubes. And again, it goes all through, and this also connects YouTube to AEW's Dynamite and Rampage and the whole storyline. But we're bringing it to Sammy Guevara's vlog here, and I'll get to that part. But first, we're going to connect the storyline on AEW to Dark. And we start off with the Varsity Blondes taking on Marcus Cross and Guillermo Rosa, I think is how you say his name. It was a ping pong into a flatliner by not Pillman, Griff, for the win. There was there was some back and forth in this match, but the key part of this is Julia Hart. She did come out with them all chipper still. When they all got to the ring, she was kind of lagging behind. They kind of ignored her. They're like looking for her to jump up on the ring to flip over the ropes like she was doing back, in their thing before she had the missed throat spit in her eye. And she was on the sidelines and looks at the bottom top of the ring, goes, nah. Climbs up as they turn around. Griff and Pillman turn around to walk up, ignoring her because she was ignoring them type of deal. She jumps up on the apron and goes, nah, not for me. Jumps down and just like, whatever. Something that's going to build to her with the House of Black, but we'll see more about that. But again, they're building to that miss in the eye definitely did something to her, and then they're building on that thing right there. So then we had the Wingmen in a match. This was all of them in an 8-man tag, taking on Rohit Raju, Karam Suthara, so I may have typed that wrong, and Caleb Tendy. The only person who had offense was Rohit Raju, and that was it. Basically, it was just everyone doing their moves, and then Peter Avalon doing a splash from above to get the win. You had a Chaos Project promo where Luther just choked out Serpentico really, and just being the crazy self he is. Then you had Sky Blue taking on Ruthie J. This was some good back and forth. Sky Blue wins with the flatliner. This is a quick match here. Then we jump into the story again. And this is Anthony Gogo telling his story and how his song came about. Basically, he had all this stuff, boxing was his life and all that kind of stuff. Again, can't do it justice, but just talk about how it got taken away from him because of boxing and something he loved. And now he's able to hear and do wrestling and all that stuff. Again, great story. You got to listen to him tell the story. I can't do it justice. Much respect. Again, go back and watch it. So then, instead of him coming into a match, it's Nick Camarada taking on Lamar Diggs. This was a lot of back and forth. Lamar Diggs is a big, beefy dude. Nick Camarada at the end basically picked him up, put him behind him. He had his legs here, his back's back here, backs him into the back corner rope, and then flips him over, and then pins him for the 1-2-3. Crazy back and forth. Then you had 10 taking on Ben Bishop, who's a 6'11" guy. -1 gets in his face, and he's all the way down here. So then 10 picks him up, puts him on his shoulders, and he's over Ben Bishop. He pushes Ben Bishop out the way. He goes to punch Ben Bishop. Or Ben Bishop goes to punch him, but the ref stops him, obviously faking it. Then you get to after the match, it was really a lot of offense by Ben Bishop. And then 10 does a shoulder block to him and then takes him to the ground and basically gets behind him and puts him in the full Nelson, beats him for that. And then Negative One gets in the ring and then wants to do the full Nelson as well. So he gets in and does the full Nelson on him with 10's help. And then they put him out the ring. Just some funny back and forth. Then here's where we're going to connect the dots with Fuego, with Sammy Guevara's vlog and Fuego del Sol. So we connect the dots here with Fuego and the vlog crew, because Brian Danielson called out the vlog crew saying the Sammy Guevara stuff, like why, blah, 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 coming at Sammy Guevara and this vlog, and like we have these kids doing these vlogs, and that's not important. And on Sammy Guevara's vlog the last 2 weeks, he's called out Brian Danielson saying, hey, you want to be a grappler, you want to grapple, and then grabs a random extra and then puts him in a grapple move and all that kind of stuff. So to start off this match, you see Fuego chain wrestling, doing grapple moves and stuff like that, basically calling out Brian Danielson in the match saying, listen, I can do it too. You want to be a grappler? I can be a grappler, acting all tough and saying that because he's sticking up for Sammy, and the vlog stuff saying, you want to train these young guys, So Fuego has been playing off of that on the Sammy Guevara vlog, bringing it to Dark and Dark Elevation whenever he's on and doing this stuff. He did last week as well. So you saw here, he wins with, he does a tornado. Now he does a tornado DDT to a double stomp, running double stomp, jumps off the back and then stomps him down. David Ali, who he beat this week, David Ali kind of messed up the double stomp a little bit, but still Fuego got the win. This was some good back and forth though, between both. But it was just a miscommunication at the very end. Then you had Matt Sydal take on Serpentico. Matt Sydal beat Serpentico with the lightning spiral. Again, good back and forth. But Matt Sydal ended up getting the win here. All in all, like I said, both shows have been great, but this was just connecting the dots, connecting the YouTube dots here with BTE coming into wrestling and Sammy Guevara coming into wrestling, and how those stories on YouTube connect to the YouTube stories in the wrestling form to then jump into Dynamite and Rampage. So this is why I'm here every week to connect all those dots for all of you, to show you where in line everything falls. And if you're missing a story on Rampage and Dynamite, when me and Jeff talking about it, we can always, you'll always hear us refer back to the episodes where I'm talking about it, or even I'll bring it up in one of the episodes when we do our review shows. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. So you're here for all of the news and entertainment that we have for you. Jeff has weekly shows. Then we have the news shows twice a week. We have Rampage, Dynamite reviews, and then we have your Dark Elevation reviews / YouTube, basically the YouTube reviews, and how everything coexists and aligns, and the stories that they put on these YouTube shows transition into the wrestling YouTube, which then can transition into Rampage and Dynamite because of the stories they're telling and bringing it along. So they're slowly bringing these stories along for you to connect everything. So this is why, you want to stay more invested in the shows and see what's going on. But again, if you can't stay invested in all that, that's why I'm here to give you the rundown of how everything connects within these two wrestling YouTube shows, wrestling shows, and then the vlogs or vlogs, as Ethan Page likes to say, and how they correlate. I haven't seen anything on Ethan Page's vlog or Evil Uno's vlog that connected to this, or Thunder Rosa's that connect within the YouTube universe. As of yet, I do watch those, but I can at least keep everyone updated with how BTE and Sammy Guevara and their two vlogs connect to the wrestling shows with Dark Elevation and Dark. So that is it for this week of the review show. Don't forget, tonight you could catch me and Jeff or me, depending on how it is, doing our Dynamite review after the show, as well as Rampage on Friday and Jeff with the news as well. So for a couple of jars, for Jeff, for myself, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.